All right, so you're a new injector. You just got everything fixed up. You've got your training in place. You've got your business entity in place. You've got everything you need to get started. Now you want to do a Botox party. How do you go about doing that? Well, that's what this video is going to be about today. Let's get you running a successful Botox party. A Botox party is where an injector will go to someone's house or someone's business and they'll throw a party. What does that party look like? It usually involves the host buying some food and maybe some drinks, non-alcoholic of course, and then inviting people to come in and get a tox treatment. It's a great opportunity for you to get a bunch of patients in a one-stop shop and get through them very quickly, okay? But it can be a little bit overwhelming, especially if you're doing it on your own. So let's go through the structure of a Botox party, what that looks like, and how to make that the most efficient process you can. So with Botox parties, in my practice, what we do for our Botox parties is we leave it up to the individual that's hosting the party to invite people, okay? And then we have some minimum. We want at least 5 people to show up. The host is responsible for getting some hors d'oeuvres, maybe a charcuterie board, and then having some water and some refreshments available as well. And then because the host is hosting it, the host will always get a significant discount, sometimes a free treatment. We have, if they bring in 5 patients, we give them 20 units for free. If they bring in more than 5 patients, or let's say up to 10, we'll give them their treatment for free. And then you can do some other stuff, like maybe bring in some products, stuff like that you can reward the host for. Hosts love doing it. I have one group of ladies that does it, and they will rotate their houses, so that way they each can be a host at different times and take advantage of the hosting benefits. So give something to the host that's doing it, all right? Then when you're interacting with that host, they're gonna let you know the patients that are gonna be coming in. This would be a great opportunity if you're a nurse to interact with your medical director and say, hey, I've got these different patients coming in. I've already sent them their intake forms. Can you do a virtual visit with them prior to the tox event? Or would you rather be available at the tox event for me to do verbal orders for you? And then you work with your medical director. Maybe you want to talk to those patients that are coming beforehand. The medical director can give you all the orders before you even show up to the event. Or you show up to the event, there's 10 people there, you call your medical director and say, hey, this is Sally, Susie, Fred, Stan, and Joe, and they all want to do tox. I've already screened them, I've got their intake forms, I don't see any contraindications. Medical director, do I have permission to implement the tox protocol on all of these? And then the medical director will give you the thumbs up, you're good, and then you go and you inject. So make sure you interact with the medical director either pre or during the event. You don't want to show up to an event and not be able to get a hold of your medical director because they're going to be stuck there not doing anything. And that's a really uncomfortable situation to be in. So you got the patients there. What do you need to physically bring with you? So we're going to talk about my travel bag, what I keep in my travel bag. So I'll show you that here in a little bit. Other things you need to bring with you are you're going to need to bring a computer and that has Wi-Fi access. So always check with your host, make sure they have Wi-Fi, because if you don't have abilities, a way to scan credit cards, you're gonna be stuck in a really rough spot. So you can use a computer to do that. You can also get apps on your phone, like a Square app or something like that, to process charges as well. So you wanna have some mechanism of being able to chart on the patients as well as taking their money. When I do a tox party, typically we do everything on paper because paper goes a lot quicker and you don't have to worry about technology aspects. We charge them electronically because everybody pays with the credit card, but I'll chart on paper. Why? Because I can do it so much quicker and I don't have to log into the computer and bring up their data and things of that nature. So I just have them sign paper consents, and then I'll do a paper treatment sheet. And then at the end of that, when I go home, I'll scan those all into the electronic EMR. So that's something I do, but if you want to do it all electronically, that's perfectly fine as well. Doing it on your own really limits how quickly you can do that. If you can bring a friend, and this would be a great opportunity to bring a friend that's interested in aesthetics, bring them to help process payments, that'd be great. Or maybe your spouse can come in, or another nurse, pay them $50 to help you out for the 2 hours or something like that. Trust me, it's money well spent, because you want to be focusing on the patient and injecting the patient. You don't want to be focusing on the administrative stuff like taking payment and stuff like that. So have a mechanism to be organized with that. Limit how many people you have at the party. My max is 12. And if I have 12 people coming to a party, 100% of the time I will have to bring somebody else with me. Why? It's too much work. Remember, it's going to take you 5 to 10 minutes to inject each patient. That's 120 minutes of injection. The patients that go first are going to want to go home. They're not going to want to wait to 2 hours, right? And the patients that come last, they start getting tired, like, okay, when's it my turn next, right? So you got to be able to be quick about it. And if you're spending 5 minutes injecting and 5 minutes processing payments on every patient, it's too much to do on your own. So if you're going to do it on your own, I keep it to 6 to 8 patients max. You can probably get through that in a 2 hour period. Obviously, you can bring pens, you're bringing paper. If you're doing paper to cents, you're making sure you have a charger for your computer. You don't want that to go down. You make sure you have Wi-Fi access, and then you go. So before I start injecting patients during a Botox party, I will do a mass education to all of them. I'll say, hey, this is what Tox is. These are different brands. Tonight, we're injecting brand A, B, or C. This is what we have for you tonight. Here's the side effects, here's the complications, here's the medical director. Does anybody have questions? No. Then you go to town. And that's when you start injecting. So you do one spiel, which is great, because you can get it all done at once, and then you start injecting patients. One of the things I do to keep patients interested and wanting to stick around is I do door prizes, depending on how many patients come through the door. So if I have 12 patients that are going to be there that night, I'll have 3 door prizes. If I have 2, I have 2 door prizes. And if I have like 6 to 8, I'll have 2 door prizes. If I only have 4 or 5, I'll have 1 door prize that will be at the very end. And a door prize could be $50 off your next treatment, free skin product, percentage off your next treatment, things of that nature. All right. And then every 3 or 4 patients, I'll do a drawing. And then that gets them excited. We draw a name. Okay, this drawing is for a $50 gift card. We draw it. Oh, boom, you got a $50 gift card. Great. And then you go on. And then at the very end, you do your big prize. And that rewards everybody for sticking around and staying with it. You don't want to do filler treatments at a tox party. I can't emphasize that enough. It takes too much time. And typically, when you get there, you don't have a chair that's appropriate for filler as well, okay? Let's talk about the chair that you need. I will use whatever chair they have available. I use kitchen chairs, I use bar stools, I've even done it on couches. It's really not hard. You just want to be able to stand above them. So a chair like this that I'm sitting in, if you're standing above them, you totally can inject. If you want more stability, put that chair up against the wall, and they can put their head against the wall and give you some stability so you can inject without them moving around as well. And so that's how I'll inject patients while I'm there. So let's talk about pricing your services. I typically give a discount to anybody that goes to a tox party. Usually about $1 a unit for tox, and sometimes $2, depending on how many people are going to show up. The other thing I do at a tox party is I want them to come to my practice for other treatments, like skin treatments, filler treatments, stuff like that. I'll say, hey, any service booked in the next 2 weeks, I'll give you this percentage off. So because you came to this tox party. So you came to the tox party, you want to do lip filler, here's a coupon for 15% off. Good for the next 2 weeks. You got to book the appointment in the next, you have to have the booking in the next 2 weeks. They can book it 3-4 months out if they want to. All right, give them a little something, get them back in your practice where you can spend some one-on-one time with them. Remember, the first visit is the most important visit of your practice. And a lot of these patients that come to a Botox party, those are going to be your first time ever interacting with your patients. You still need to build a relationship with them. It's really hard to do that in a Botox party, but you need them in your practice to help build that relationship with them. All right. So have a discount and then book the next party. Before you leave, okay, ladies, when do you want to do this party next? Get all their calendars out. Okay, I can do this day. Oh, I'll host it, blah, blah, blah. And then the end of the day, you book it. It's 3 months out. If you wait too long, people's plans are all over the place. So you want to book the next Botox party before you leave, all right? One Botox party, depending on how much you're charging, you can easily generate $2,000 to $3,000 of profit, okay? In 2 hours of work. If you do 10 patients, average patient doing 30 units, and you're going to make $200 per patient, You can do the math on that. That's $2,000 of profit. That doesn't include all the upsells you're going to do. Maybe some of them want to do filler. Maybe some of them want to do biostimulators, et cetera. I did a party once. By the time I was done, I had sold laser hair removal packages. I had sold 2 biostimulator packages for like $3,000, skin treatments. That little party brought in $6,000 to $8,000 of additional revenue, plus what I did at the party. So use that opportunity to wow them, make jokes, laugh. They want to come to you and get them in your practice and get them looking and feeling better. So I love Botox parties. They're a great way of building your business and getting out there into the community. You should be taking advantage of it, even if you have a brick and mortar. Do them, put them on your website, have fun with them, get to know people, and build your practice. So let's dive into what I carry around in Botox in my party bag, and then we'll go from there. All right, so this is my Botox party bag, my Tox party bag. And I bought this at Walmart. It's at Ozark Hills. I don't know, I spent $19 on it, something like that. Why did I buy this? Because I had a lot of pockets, okay? You can get crazy with it. You can get all sorts of fun stuff. You can get branded bags, but I'm a pretty simple guy. So every pocket has a different thing in it. The top pocket here, I have my pens so they can sign consent. And then I also have skin marking pens as well. I have a black and a white one, so that way I can mark my areas that I'm going to be injecting. So always make sure you have pens. Bring a bunch of pens. You're going to need them. When you open up the main bag, I have some hand sanitizer. I have the product I'm carrying. Typically with Tox parties, I typically take products that don't need refrigerated, but when you leave, you're gonna have to have some way of refrigerating the product afterwards because you'll have some left over that's been reconstituted. So I'll also carry a bag, a little tiny cooler bag that has an ice pack in there so I can take it home or take it back to the office and throw it in the fridge. So we'll take some of that. I have a bunch of gloves that I'll carry. So we have a box of gloves, and then I have some gauze that I carry. So this is just some 4x4 non-woven gauze as well. Then we get into syringes. I always carry around my insulin syringes that I need for Tox. Here's a bag. I like the 6mm BD syringes. These are my favorite ones. They're a little pricey, but you can get these. You can't buy them on Amazon, but you can get them from McKesson or Medic Supply or Henry Schein. That's a great product to carry. So always make sure you have plenty of these. You don't want to run out of insulin syringes. All right. Then we have antiseptic. So here I got both chlorhexidine swabs and alcohol swabs in my bag to clean patients. And then I need a 3cc syringe with a 21 gauge needle to reconstitute bacteriostatic saline. Remember, I got to reconstitute bacteriostatic saline with the product, so I always carry around a little bacteriostatic saline as well. Numbing cream's a good option as well. I typically don't use this too much. You do have occasional patients that request it for their Tox injections. So I carry around this little 1 ounce bottle of Numb Master. It's 5% lidocaine. You can buy this on Amazon. I think around 10 to 15 bucks for a little bottle of this. This will last you for years and years and years. So definitely want to carry one of those around as well. One of the really important things you got to make sure to bring is a sharps container. So I carry a little sharps container that fits in this bag nicely. I'll empty that sharps container with my other sharps container when I get back to my practice. All right. So we got our insulin needles. What's in this jar? Oh, look, another thing of bacteriostatic saline. Why? I don't ever want to run out of this. So I carry some extra. Okay. I'll carry some lidocaine. Sometimes if it's a small party, I may do some filler. If I only have 4 or 5 people show up and I have time, then I'll do one filler case, at which point I'll need some bacteriostatic saline to do a dental block. All right. And let's see what's in this last pocket over here. Just more insulin needles. So that's my basic Tox bag. You can carry that around. The only thing I don't have here is that little cooler for the Tox as well. But get something similar. You want your gauze, you want your needles, you want your medicine, obviously. You want reconstitution. You want, all those things we just talked about in that bag to where it's nice and handy for you. So that's a Tox party in a nutshell. I want to leave you with this thought. I met with the vice president of one of the big companies not too long ago, and we were discussing concierge medicine in the aesthetic industry. And she relayed to me that the industry is going towards concierge medicine. What's concierge medicine? going to somebody's house, doing it there, going to their business, doing it there. That is where the tox industry is leaning towards, away from brick and mortars, away from big plastic surgery practices to the little injectors. So tox parties are one avenue of that concierge model. It's big, it's growing. If you're not doing it, you should be. It's a 100% great way of growing your practice. So I'll leave you with those thoughts. Get out there, do it, come up with a fun program that you can do, and ultimately go seize the day.